Don't get me wrong, but we say it's a great day for football, and the roof is wide open here in Glendale at State Farm Stadium. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals.
Let's go. Here we go. Is it far? Hey, tight down. There you go.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the Tucker rule that they can fall back on anymore.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. 2nd and 10. Goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
It's always tough trying to keep your guy upright when he's trying to throw the football. When you're dealing with those big bad guys on the defensive front, it's even tougher. And this time, those guys on the opposite side won the battle, getting to the quarterback and knocking him into an incompletion.
He'll drop to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Jabril Peppers, the former first-round pick, there on the coverage. Really solid coverage from the current NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Also had an interception in that game a week ago.
And it was fun to watch him in practice this week, wasn't it? To see how he understands spacing and when the ball's arriving, which hand to put out in front to try and knock it away. And he just exhibited it on that play.
We got this.
Murray and the Cardinals with a 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. Murray now on 1st down. That's going to be caught by Kirk. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up 1st downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Trying to get away, but could not. And not a blitzer, but still able to get there from a strong safety position.
Yeah, I think that was a great example of what they call football IQ. Recognizing he was open, had a chance, and went ahead and got to the quarterback.
Now that last sack puts Murray and the Cards in a tough spot. 3rd and long. Murray with a 3rd and long. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Now, a nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now. But the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, got the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
I'm not sure that you'd call it trick play, but it definitely showed some imagination there. I wouldn't be surprised if they want to come back and show this play a few more times before this one is over.
The Cards going nickel. An extra defensive back out there now on third down. Now this time he'll look to throw. Being chased out, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
Watch out for Hill on the return. A well-hit ball there. 50 yards on the punt, 3 on the return. And the Cards will take over, 1st and 10. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can try to have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Yannick Ngakoue in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. They'll run with a former Tar Heel, TJ Logan. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Murray flush to his right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing.
At their own 20-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Hey, let's get this, get this. Kill.
A run for Nick Chubb. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size and these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
It's going to be a long day. Big Ed, let's go. Get set. Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship.
They're going to look to throw. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. And he'll be stopped short of the 1st down as they rally to tackle him at about the 28. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. No score after 1 on EA Sports. And he gets this away, angled for the sideline with a lot behind it. Wow. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? But it definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. This is their third drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
On second down, it's Logan. And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
Brings up 3rd and 2.
Buddy up, Mike. I'm coming for you. You must. Check three.
They'll try and run for it with Fournette. And Fournette trying to power his way forward, but I don't think he got there. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47.
Check 26.
Here's Grant. And he'll get it across midfield and down into Cardinal territory. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. 2nd and 3. That's going to be caught by Samuel. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Push him back. Check.
This is Grant. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. They will run with Grant. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. So on 4th down, Pete Carroll's going to call out his field goal unit. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. Been a bit of a dogfight thus far into the 2nd quarter now, and we do have our first points, a field goal.
Yeah, a lot of people say, wow, first action on the scoreboard, about time. To me, the action's been right there on the field, trying to figure out who could gain an advantage, gain some field position, finally get points on the board. I'm loving this kind of game.
And feels like kickers might play a big role in this one.
Yeah, so make sure you give them the respect they deserve. They could cost you a game or win you one.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. The results for them so far, not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Get that quarterback, D-line. Get that quarterback. Check 99.
On 2nd down, here's Murray. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Well, that last sack puts Murray and the Cards in a tough spot, 3rd and long. Second quarter, 2 minutes remain, 3-0 our score. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a...
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Reggie Ragland. There he goes, right side. And they will score. It's a pick 6 for the Cardinals touchdown. How about that for a little jolt right before intermission?
You talk about taking momentum into the half with you, and so many teams have an emphasis on trying to score in the last 2 minutes of a half to carry that with them. It's not often talked about scoring on defense, though. That's extra mo.
And now they may take the lead into the locker room as well. This will be taken in at the 1. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. Back to throw here. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. He'll look to throw. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. And a big 32-yard play on 3rd. They'll look to throw here. Open man is Samuel, complete. And he gets it down to the 32. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. They'll look to throw. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Second interception for him now here in this first half. And you got to think he's a rookie, Charles. How much does confidence start to become a factor?
I think that's a great question because that's what they're going to check on when he gets to the sidelines. The coach is going to check on, his teammates are going to check on it, because when you haven't done it before, it's not something that's part of you. You got to see how you're going to react. Let's see how he bounces back.
Yeah, because 2 interceptions for him in college and a half, I mean, that just didn't happen. On 1st and 10, here's Murray. They complete it to Hill. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. So we've reached intermission here in a low-scoring game. 7-3 is our score. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. The Cards with the lead, and they will get this football first as the second half gets started. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had to build.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jaron Reed able to record his 5th sack of the season. So they come out of the locker room trailing, but plays like that, they won't be trailing much longer. Defense really starting out well this second half.
Yeah, they knew they had to jumpstart things a little bit. They really struggled in the first half trying to slow them down, but now they had a plan, made that adjustment that we always talk about, and it worked very well on that play.
This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, Murray able to find Isabella. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It'll be an Arizona 1st down on a gain of 17. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Dane Cruikshank. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line. Andy Isabella was the intended target. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
On 1st down, a running play ends up going backwards as he won't get close to the line of scrimmage. In fact, he's going to lose 4 yards. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
And he's going to take this down to about the 17. A sizable gain there, 9 yards as they get it back to a 3rd and 5.
And it's 3rd down.
They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. Bit of a surprise. They ran it on 3rd and medium. Proved to be the right call. 1st and 10.
Well, when we go back to our conversation with the defensive coordinator, that type of a play was not a surprise to him. He expected trickery in this game, yet somehow his defense, they still took the cheese and got caught in the mousetrap.
run with Chubb. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. They'll get 6 on the ground there, and it'll be 2nd and goal coming up. When we talk about being on schedule, I think they're on schedule after that run, getting it right down there on the doorstep.
Maybe even a little bit ahead, because now the defense can't dictate with pressure. They're guessing about where you're going to go. I might come right back at them with the same play, the same set, and see if they can stop them.
They'll give it to Chubb, and he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. Nick Chubb, his 9th touchdown of the season, and the Seahawks are going to retake the lead. Extra point right down the middle, and the lead is now 10-7. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Now a give right side. Logan. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2. And he'll get it out to midfield. They'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
It was a play that was designed to trick the defense, to try and fool them. They didn't gain a huge chunk of yardage, but they did pick up a 1st down.
On 1st down, it's Logan. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
That ball complete to Isabella. And he'll just get back to the line of scrimmage, if that. And with a flag on the field. And that one looks to be in the area where someone was held. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Here's Murray from midfield. Now he lets it go deep for Kirk. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And a great return as he's up close to the 40-yard line. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Well, now they'll try the end around. I don't think anyone in the building fooled right there, as that one is going to blow up in their faces. That really sets them back. A loss of 6.
Watch the run. Watch the run.
2nd and long. And the pressure will bring him down here. The Cardinals get home for the sack.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
And the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Taking a shot for Samuel, and that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
On 2nd down now, it's Logan, and he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. Murray now on 1st down. This for his running back, McCoy. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Give him 16 yards there, and it's a Cardinals 1st down as well. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down.
Here we go. Here we go. Kill. Turn up. Turn it.
They run with Logan. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. They run again with Logan. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Now a give right side. Logan. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. A 4th quarter miss like that, there is no lonelier feeling than that kicker right now.
As we all know, a lot of these games, they come down to special teams. And when that chance comes, you have to perform in order to help your team get over the top.
Could have tied it. Instead, they remain down 3. It's a gain of 15. 1st down, Seahawks.
Brandon, sometimes it just comes down to the power of suggestion, because I know exactly what they said all week long. We're coming off the open week. We'll have the fresher legs in the 4th quarter, and they will wilt when we get to that point. And right now, it appears that they're thinking that exact thing.
Yeah, offensively, they had the bye last week. Defensively, did not. Is that really a big factor? Is that more talk during the week?
I think the more that you talk about it, the more that you emphasize it, the more sometimes it comes true for your team.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And once again, not much running room, if any at all. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause of the action. A timeout here defensively. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team, because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. Well, let's face it, we've been there, we've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
From up near the 40 now after the big play to start. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to throw. Eluding the pressure right. This one caught by Isabella. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Working the sideline there. Good route, good catch. First down, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, you have to like the play call because you have to run some guys down the middle of the field to draw some of the defenders away. They can't just let them guard the sideline exclusively. That's how it's going to work. Sidelines and incompletions to use the clock.
Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. To throw is Murray. Steps away to his left. He'll run it. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
They'll look to throw. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. T.J. Logan in the final minute. And they have taken the lead here in the final minute.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but not. You got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some